Hello, everybody. Now comes the time in the beginning of every live stream where it takes a minute to figure out if it's really working and if everybody is seeing me. And in order to do that, I need to look away from the camera and do like two things at once. But hello to everybody who is here now or who, yeah. I guess, or hello to everybody who's watching this in the future, because after I'm done with the live stream, it gets posted as a normal video on my channel, and so yeah, there's going to be some of you are here watching this right now, and some of you will be watching this. In the future, after it's posted. Oh, sorry, my mistake there. Good. All right, let's see. Who's here? Hari, isn't it late? You need to go to bed. You probably have school tomorrow, don't you? But I'm glad you're here. Ed Korn, Don Kettle, Tammy Thorne, Sebastian Shore, Ron Fisher, Jackson Henge, H.A. Brecken, Stephanie, Joe. Sorry, I can't go through everybody here, but I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you guys and answering your questions. And I'm going to get started here in just a second. As I mentioned, or as I, yeah, have you noticed that it can be difficult for me to just come up with a sentence when I don't know exactly what I'm going to be talking about in advance? That's one thing that takes me a while to get used to when I do these live chats. But yeah, it's definitely time now, so I will officially start the video now. Welcome back, travel fans. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofa Time, I'm going to celebrate getting 10 million views. Yay! And now comes the song, and I think at the moment, the video I have when the introduction song comes is the boat splashing out of Jurassic Park River Adventure, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm glad you guys are all here with me to celebrate, and as I mentioned, when I gave the information about doing this live chat, I am going to answer your questions from Instagram. So if you want to ask me a question, of course, you can do it here as well. But first, I'm going to answer all the questions from this in the comments on this Instagram post. So if you still want to get a question in, go to my Instagram or create an Instagram and like my account, and then post your question on this picture. And in order to celebrate, or to help me celebrate with you together, I have made myself a margarita. Because, you know, a lot of times you drink alcohol when you're celebrating something, and it's 7 o'clock at night here. I'm done with work. I've already had dinner, so cheers. Or, as the guys from Cruising with Wheels always say, dilly dilly. I don't know what that means. I never heard anybody say that before I heard them say that. All right, who else do we got here? We've got Carolyn, hi Carolyn, and Crazy Kev, and Mitch, and Joseph. I'm trying to figure out here the best setup, because I want to be able to make sure that I still am in the frame and everything, and I want to be able to see the comments, but oh, here we go. Now I got it set up. All right, I am going to begin because I got a lot of comments on Instagram, and in the comments there are a lot of questions. So it is my goal to get through all of these, unless there's something that's inappropriate. But if there's something that's inappropriate, I'll answer it in a private message. I'm just kidding. I probably won't. But yeah, hello again to everybody who is here. And I'm glad that you are here to help me celebrate, including Deborah Toman, who's from Middle America, and everybody else who's here. So I am going through my Instagram the comments on that Instagram post, as I promised. And I'm going to start here. I'm just going to start at the top with Sweet Lee 84. Hi, Sweet Lee. Sweet Lee writes, I'm single and literally no one in my family likes to travel outside of the USA, specifically Disney. We are Florida residents. Any recommendations of countries or tour companies that are great for a single female traveler? I know you're not single or female, true and true, but maybe one of your friends can give you the lowdown. Well, Sweet Lee, if you're interested in having some travel experiences outside of the country and you're going to be traveling on your own, my first piece of advice is probably, sorry, I had to change my legs. How long am I going to be able to sit here without both of my legs falling asleep with this table in front of me? I have to straddle it. Anyways, there's the first tangent. What a surprise. What I mean is, or what I wanted to say is, if you're going to be traveling alone and it's going to be your first time out of the country, I would definitely suggest that you visit a country where you can speak the language. So that would be, you know, England, like England. Canada also counts as a foreign country if you're from the United States, which, yeah, you are because you live in Florida. Another country where, another foreign country basically where everybody can basically speak English is Holland and the Netherlands, or also a city you can visit is also Singapore. Singapore is a city, right? I feel so stupid all of a sudden. Hari will show you around, right, Hari? But yeah, so first piece of advice, try to find some place where you can speak the language. And I don't know, maybe you can also speak Spanish or French or some other language, and in that sense, you're good. But that would be my advice for you. And as far as tour companies that specialize in tours for single travelers or single women specifically, sorry, I don't have any experience with that. But I also see that Booze Cruise is here. Thanks, guys, for your congratulations. Heather Travels, also another travel channel. She writes, London is great for solo female traveling. Yeah, I would agree. I love London, and you guys know that I've been there a lot. All right, so moving on. Next question, because I really want to try to get through all of these. And if any of you have any advice for Sweet Lee about planning a trip as a single traveler, especially a single female traveler, then write it in the comments here, or write it as a response to her comment here on the Instagram post, and then we'll help her all as a team. All right, April 6335 writes, what, comma, if you have one, comma, is your most embarrassing cruise story? And I was trying to think. I don't know. I can't think of anything like super embarrassing that's happened to me on a cruise, to tell you the truth. I mean, there's been things that have happened that I thought that, like, if anybody saw it or knew about it besides like Marcus, that would be embarrassing. You know, like one time I had just a really awful hangover and I was throwing up like all day until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon because we had too many Italian teas. I think it was on the Mariner of the Seas. Just the most awful thing you can do to yourself is give yourself a hangover when on a cruise ship. Anyways, I mean, that would have been embarrassing, like if I was like traveling with friends, or if I had like some you know, appointments or something that I had to go to, because there's no way I could have left the cabin. Let's see here. Well, yeah, so April, I'm sorry, I don't really have like a super funny, embarrassing story right now to tell you. But anyways, cheers. Who else is here? Kamika writes, June 9th, I will be on the Harmony of the Seas. After we get off the cruise, we go to Disney World. Jealous. That sounds awesome. Stephanie Christie, tables for 2 are available. Sorry, I missed part of the conversation. Tracy Dunderdale writes, congratulations on 10 million views. Yeah, you know, I still can't believe that 10 million people around the world have seen my videos, have been, you know, come here for help, and apparently, you know, enjoyed watching them. And it really makes me feel good. Oh, Mar Fair writes, I booked Virgin's new ship with a solo cabin. Cool. Mar, please send us some pictures and videos so we can all see what that's like. Solo Cruiser writes, I travel on my own as a woman cruising all the time. Endless options and safe. Well, great. Doug Inslee writes, hi, I made it. Doug, I'm happy you're here. Thanks again, everybody, for coming. Hold on, I have to cough for a second. Excuse me. I'm celebrating 10 million views. I'm glad you're all here. I'm answering the comments from my Instagram, and I occasionally am looking at what you guys are writing here in the chats as well. And as always, remember, if you do a super chat, then I will immediately answer that question. Moving on here to the Instagram questions. Joseph Smith, who I know is here, right? Joseph, I think I saw you. Hi. Joseph writes, congrats on the 10 million. Thank you. Cruise question. Would you ever do a world cruise? And theme park question. Would you think about going to PortAventura or Ferrari Land in Salau, which is in Spain? And I just got a super chat. So Joseph, I'm going to get right back to your question. After I mentioned here Mountaineer828, who gave me a super chat saying, we can't stick around for long. Oh, I'm sorry. But wanted to stop by and say congrats. Well-deserved. Have a drink on us, Amanda and Michael. Thank you guys so much. Here's my drink, my margarita. Cheers. Maybe I should do one of these and make it like a drinking game that anytime anybody gives me a super chat, I have to take a shot. Could be dangerous. I don't trust you guys. All right, back to Joseph Smith's question. First question was, would I ever do a world cruise? Well, it's something that sounds appealing to me, but you know, certain things, certain factors would have to be in place before I could do that. And one of them is I would have to have the time. So I'd either have to not have like a real life job anymore, or I would have to be retired. I mean, both of those are the same thing, you know what I mean? And it's gonna be a while before I retire, and I still do have a real life job. Surprise, surprise, if you guys didn't know that, I do. And yeah, that's one reason why I wouldn't do it. Another reason is that is a long time to be on a cruise ship. And I think a lot of times when people do these world cruises, like it's the same people on the ship for the whole time. And I could just see that becoming tiring, to say it in a nice way. You know what I mean? I'm going to try to move the computer over here a little bit more. Yeah, so at the moment, no plans to do a world cruise. Joseph's other question is, would you think about going to PortAventura and Ferrari Land and Salau? And Joseph, I've been there. I've been there 3 or 4 times, but I haven't been there since they built Shambhala. And I'm really looking forward to going back to see that. And Marcus and I talk about it all the time, about trying to do it like before we board a cruise, or trying to just go down there for a weekend or something. And I don't know, for whatever reason, it just never seems to work out. But I would love to go back to PortAventura. I think it is one of the most spectacular theme parks in Europe. Do you live close to there? Who else we have here? Johnny Witt, any idea of what time I should get to the port to be the first person on the NCL Dawn on my upcoming trip? Really, really early, but they're not going to let you on before, you know, boarding begins anyway. So look in your information, and they will, and the information will tell you what time you can board. Excuse me, I have to cough again. Mar Fair writes, you love sofa chat. Well, I'm so glad you're here in front of the red sofa, which looks very dark red at the moment, to chat with me live. Margaret Riley writes, you're right, we can't be trusted, LOL. Adam writes, Shambhala is great. Ferrari World is worth a trip too. Question, is Ferrari World a separate entrance attraction, or is it like part of, is it like a land in PortAventura? I know I should know that, but like I said, we haven't been there since they built that, so I don't know that yet. All right, moving on. In the questions on the Instagram post, Emily Esbury writes, congratulations, thank you. I love your channel. I do have a question. Have you ever brought your own case of bottled water onto a Royal Caribbean ship? If so, what's the best method for bringing it on board? Checked versus carry on. Emily, the answer to that question is no, I've never done that. Sorry. I usually just buy bottled water in the ports, or actually, I've drunk the tap water on ships too. The tap water on ships is totally fine. Doesn't necessarily taste very good, but you can definitely drink it. And otherwise, I drink, you know, the water from like up in the buffet and at the restaurants as well. And I'm sorry, I don't have any advice about the best way to do that, but I know that some of the people who are watching this video will. So check the comments and see what they're writing or what they have written. Joseph Smith, who's here live right now, writes, I wish I was. I live alone in Ireland. Alone in Ireland. We're heading off to Salou during the week. Ferrari is a separate entrance park. Well, I hope you have great weather and a great time, but chances are you will. So Adam writes, yeah, it's separate. It was very quiet when we were there, as most people only go to the main park. There is really only one big ride in Ferrari Land. Yeah, well, that is one big ride. That coaster is huge. That is I think at the moment it's the tallest coaster in Europe, isn't it? Or does that go to the new coaster in Energy Landia? I don't know. Any coaster experts out there? Adam Abdulalim writes, congrats, Morgan. Thanks, Adam. And I don't know if you're here, but if you're here, a special thanks. Just to anybody who might just be showing up, this is live Sunday Sofa Time to celebrate me having 10 million views. And I'm going through the comments here on Instagram. And if you want me to answer your question like immediately, then write it as a super chat and I will get to it immediately. Laurus writes, congratulations, Morgan. Thank you, Laurus. So I was wondering, as a huge cruise enthusiast, is there something that you are still missing when going on a cruise? Like something that cruise companies could change or introduce that would make you love cruising even more? Viele Grüße aus Hamburg. Oh, hello from Hamburg, my neighbor. I didn't even know, I didn't see that before. Danke, Laurus. What is something I'm missing about cruising, something that doesn't exist already? I don't know. I guess one thing I'm missing is I wish more Norwegian and Royal Caribbean ships would come to Hamburg. Wouldn't that be awesome? I live in a cruise port. Like, cruises are leaving my city, like, in the summer, basically almost every day. But they're ships that I'm not really interested in. It's like AIDA ships and Mein Schiff and a lot of Costa cruises. And I'm not saying that those are bad cruises, but I'm just not interested in those ships. I would much rather cruise with the other lines I mentioned, or even Carnival or Disney. And so I wish they would come to Hamburg. Some other people are writing, but yeah, one thing that would be nice would be free Wi-Fi. But, you know, Mar Fair, you know, no place offers free Wi-Fi anymore except like Starbucks, but no hotel does, no cruise ship does. So I think that's not really something realistic we can wish for. You know what I mean? Liz Doucette writes, congrats, thank you. I have a cruise question. For all the Italy, Greece cruise ports, do you have to take a taxi, bus to get anywhere? Or are there things that you can do near port? Well, excuse me. Of course, I haven't been to every Italy and Greece cruise port, and I'm not going to go through and list all of them that I've been to now. I think I made a video about that, actually, a Sunday Sofa Time. I think I did, talking about every cruise port I visited. Or no, maybe it was every ship I've been on. But short answer to your question is, in many of the Italian and Greece cruise ports, you can literally walk off the ship and be in the middle of the city. One specific example I can think of is Palermo, Italy. Another one is, or wait, was it Palermo? No, I mean Naples. Naples, Italy. The ship docks like literally right in the city. And the Greek islands, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since we've cruised to Greece. But short story, you do not have to take a taxi in a lot of those places. You can literally walk off the ship and be in the city. And otherwise, as I always recommend, if there is some kind of hop-on, hop-off bus tour, that is always a great way to get from the ship into the city and learn a little bit about the city as you're moving around, right? So cheers to you. Have any of you guys made yourself a little drink? I think, you know, most of you are in the United States probably, right? So it's still the afternoon, but it's Sunday afternoon. So, you know, maybe. I'm here in Germany. It's 7 o'clock at night or 20 past 7. So happy hour. James Billington is here now as well as Mrs. Liz, CJV. Nice to see you guys. I'm going to continue the questions here on the Instagram post. Glitzy88 wrote me, this is all her questions, but I promised if you wrote it on this Instagram post, I would answer it. So let me go through this quickly for Glitzy88. Question number 1, when and what is your next cruise? Well, Glitzy, I'm not ready to talk about it yet. I like to keep things mysterious, and I like to get certain things like all planned out before I start giving out the information about it and sort of make a game about it. So stay tuned. Number 2, are you planning for a group cruise this year or next? Oh, this question is so frustrating. I'm not frustrated that you asked it. I'm frustrated that the answer I have to give is I'm not planning one this year yet, and I know that it's getting really close to be too late to plan one this year, and it's something I really want to do, and it just doesn't work out. I'm sorry, but it's something I really want to do, and you know, for every person who writes and asks that they are interested in doing a group cruise, it motivates me more and more to get it set up. So if it's something you're interested in, please let me know. Number 3, we would like to hear your latest opinion, what you like and dislike about NCL and Royal Caribbean. Well, that's a long question to answer, and I don't think it's going to fit into this video. Hold on, I got to fold my legs up again because they're falling asleep here sitting on the floor. What I used to really appreciate about NCL that was almost impossible on Royal Caribbean was just these great big water parks that NCL has on its newer ships. And now Royal Caribbean is finally listening to the advice that I gave them and building water parks on their ships, like the new Navigator and the reimagined Navigator, and I think Independence as well. So that's a really good thing. One thing I appreciate even now more about NCL is just this freestyle cruising concept. And that, of course, there are more things on board that you have to pay extra for, but for the base price, I'm still convinced you get a better value on NCL than you do on Royal Caribbean. So short answer to that very vast question. Number 4, what are your top 5 bucket list travel destinations and experiences? Well, one thing that I still would really love to do is visit all the Disney parks in Asia. Another thing I would love to do is, of course, cruise with Disney Cruise Line, cruise with Carnival Cruise Line, do a group cruise, and I'm really looking forward to Galaxy's Edge. So there's some of them. 5, recently I learned that some tour companies will hire bloggers to be the internal cruise director for the specific clients going on the cruise. Would you consider doing that if the commitment is, say, 4 to 6 weeks to entertain 4 to 6 different groups of cruisers? It sounds really interesting to me, but like I said, that would only work if I gave up my real life job, and then I would only be interested in doing that if there was enough of it lined up that I could, that it would make sense financially. You know what I mean? And I'm assuming that those people don't get paid very much. They probably get to go on the cruise for free. I don't know. If you have any details, please send them to me. Let me know. Number 6, now that you have 10 million views under your belt, do you feel like a YouTube star? No. What makes a YouTube star? It's a good question. What would need to happen until I feel like a YouTube star? I don't know what makes a star at all. Of course, 10 million people around the world have seen my videos, but I still live a really normal life. I still have a job that's not YouTube, or like in addition to YouTube. And when I go on cruise ships, almost all the time, people come up to me and say they've seen my videos. I can't remember the last cruise I've been on where that hasn't happened, but I can still go to Disney World and maybe once a day or twice a day somebody will recognize me. So I don't feel like a star in that sense. All right, last question. Last question from Glitzy. What's your next milestone or goal after 10 million views? Well, I guess the next big The next big milestone would be to get 100,000 subscribers, and that's really far away. And I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm never gonna make it there. I don't know, it's weird to have 10 million views and only like 38,000 subscribers. I don't, I used to think I knew why that was, but nowadays I don't really understand it anymore. But I'm just happy for everybody who comes here. I'm happy for all the people that I reach with my videos who I can help. And I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and whatever comes out of it, comes out of it. And I'm doing it basically for the love. And then any kind of bonus that comes out of it, that's just a bonus, if it's money or goodies or that kind of stuff, So little break here. Welcome to everybody who is here. I'm going through the questions that I was asked on my Instagram post about this live feed tonight. I'm going to be going through some of the comments as well. And if you want me to answer your question immediately, then post it to the post on Instagram, or like if you want me to drop everything I'm doing and answer it like at this moment, then write it as a super chat. Who else do we have here? Rosie Donnell, nice to see you here. Thanks for coming. CJV, Richard Yutz, Crazy Kev, Just M. Oh, Just M is Glitzy88. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Oh, Adam, I answered your question already. If you missed it, you'll have to watch it again when the video of this live chat gets posted. But I'm glad to see you could make it. Moving on, Booze Cruise. Shout out to Booze Cruise. I'm glad you guys are here. I love watching you guys' videos. Booze Cruise is another travel-related, basically cruise-related channel. And these guys are really fun to hang out with online, and really good looking, if I must say so myself. Reminds me of when I had that body like 20 years ago, which I definitely don't have anymore. And I'm glad you guys are here. They wanted to know, what is my dream cruise? People ask me a lot, what's like my favorite roller coaster? What's my favorite cruise ship? What's my favorite cruise port? And I have a really, really hard time picking favorites. So to ask what my dream cruise is kind of like picking a favorite cruise. I guess it would have to be, I would definitely have to have a balcony cabin. Marcus would definitely have to be with me. It would be really cool to have some sort of like special upgrade, like be in like the Haven or something like that. It would have to be on a ship that had a water park. It would be great if it had a nice spa area, and it would have to be cruising to some place with guaranteed warm weather. Those are some criteria that would need to be involved. But to tell you like specifically, sorry, I can't think of one. And I have to burp. I just ate before we sat down here. Lizzie, oh wait, there's another, Booze Cruise has another one. Also, would you ever take one of those year-long cruises? I answered that earlier about taking the world cruise or live or live on the cruise ships as retirement. Yeah, I love cruising, but I don't know if living on a cruise ship, that would be like living at Disney World. Eventually it would get to the point where it's just your normal day-to-day life, and then it's not something special anymore. And that would be disappointing, you know what I mean, to lose that. So I don't think that I would like to live on a cruise ship. All right, moving on to Lizzie Loves Travel. Will there be a very unofficial group cruise? Talked about that. Or a Walt Disney World meetup? Well, Lizzie, I have done Orlando meetups in the past. I think I've done it 2 or 3 times. And it's something I plan to do actually every time I go to Orlando, because there's a lot of people there that I love to meet up with and keep in touch with. But I didn't do it this last time because I was there with my family, and I just wanted to focus the time on spending it with them. But I definitely will be doing another Orlando meetup. All right, moving on. Silver Rabbit 38. Okay, here's a question or questions. Sorry, you don't need to apologize. You follow the rules. I said if you post it here, I'll answer it. So here we go. I have seen you use a GoPro Hero 5. Yes, correct. Anyways, how many batteries do you bring with you on a trip? Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of your question because I know what it says here. and I can answer it without reading it. But to tell you the truth, I also bought a package of 5, and I never bring them with me. I always just bring 1 battery, and that usually lasts because I usually don't film with my GoPro the whole day. I usually do a mix of GoPro and with this telephone. So that usually lasts then for the whole day. I do have extra batteries, but in the beginning, I brought them with me, and then I realized I never use them. So I don't think you need to, I don't think you need extra batteries, but I guess it can be convenient just in case. Jaden H. Bethel writes, is there a reason as to why you haven't tried Carnival yet? No, I mean, well, sorry, tangent. I need to like totally redo the setup here because my legs are getting really sore from sitting here. I've got a coffee table here that I'm straddling. I'll try to show you guys. I'm sitting like this. One leg going this direction and one leg going this direction around the table. Oh, nice crotch shot, Morgan. Because I have to put my computer on something, and it's just hard to sit like this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jaden, that you were the victim of this tangent. But your question, why haven't I cruised with Carnival yet? It just hasn't happened. Originally, Carnival didn't seem like a line that was attractive to me for several factors, but now I could definitely imagine cruising with Carnival, and you know, maybe my next cruise will be with Carnival. I don't know. I haven't talked about it yet, have I? So just stay in touch and you'll see. When do I plan on cruising with them? Rewind 30 seconds. And also, your edits are extremely professional. I like it. Well, I'm glad you're here. And I'm not promising you that I am cruising with Carnival, but just to say I'm not against cruising with Carnival, and it will definitely be happening sometime. Cassandra Clausen, what is your favorite cruise? Cassandra, like I just mentioned, I have a very hard time picking favorite anything, but I really enjoy cruising with Norwegian Cruise Line and Royal Caribbean. Hari has also asked a question that he has asked me many, many times, Hari. Hari asks, when will I be coming to Singapore? And Hari, the answer is still, I don't know yet. And as soon as I plan a trip to Singapore, Hari, I promise I will tell you. What I'm trying to say is you don't need to ask me anymore. I promise you'll know when I'm coming. Now, am I going to travel on an AIDA ship again? I'm not against traveling on an AIDA ship. AIDA is the German brand of Carnival, and I have cruised with them once before, and I've also toured one of their ships. And maybe I could do a tour of one of their ships again because I have some connections there, and a lot of their ships come here to Hamburg. But I guess the main reason that I don't cruise with Carnival, well, one is no water parks on the ships, very small casinos. They have fantastic shows on the ships. That's a big plus. But I make a lot of these videos to try to help people, and I know that most of you wouldn't cruise on an AIDA ship because it's like the German brand, and so that's a reason why I haven't cruised more with AIDA. And Hari wants me to say that AIDA now has one of the biggest cruise ships in the world. Just for you, Hari. Moving on. Oh, but you know what? I need another drink. Cheers, everybody. Still got a ways to go. Let me go through some of your questions here before I continue with the Instagram questions, but there's still quite a few of those too. So I hope you are in for the long haul here, everybody. CJV wants to know if I've ever been to Club 33. No, I haven't, but if you can get me in, let me know. Club 33 is a special private club at, it's either Disneyland or the Magic Kingdom in Disney World. I can't remember which one is where, or are they both called Club 33? And you can only get in if you have a membership or you're with a member, and the membership is something like $40,000 a year or something like that. So no, I have not been there. Rob Davis is suggesting, because of my falling asleep leg problem, that I just sit on the couch. I don't like to sit on the couch because I slouch a lot then, and then I look like this, and then my gut hangs out. So I would much rather sit on the floor and suffer leg pains. That's just me, but thanks for the suggestion. Steve Chaput or Chapu writes, I'm a Carnival Platinum member. Ooh, very nice. Have very few complaints, while my one cruise with Princess has me convinced never to cruise with them again. Ooh, what happened? Drama. Give us the tea, as the kids say nowadays. Adam asks, would you fly with Scoot to Singapore from Berlin? They offer cheap flights to Singapore. Maybe. I don't know. Haven't thought about it. Would love to fly with Emirates. Emirates is great. Mary Ellen Shaw, is writing to somebody else. Writing about the water. Mary Ellen writes, you can buy a 12-pack of water for $4 online, and it will be in your room on Carnival. That sounds like a great deal. And Stephanie Christie answers that both Disneyland and the Magic Kingdom in Florida have a Club 33. I knew that they both had one. I just thought that at the one it was called Club 33, and at the other one it was called something else. All right, moving back to the questions that you guys asked me here on Instagram. Where did I leave off? Terry G7 writes, congratulations on your 1 million views. Actually, Terry, it was 10 million views. But thank you anyways. Thank you 10 million times. I'm fairly new to your YouTube channel and started with your newest post and working on my way back to the oldest. Cool. You'll notice a big change in Morgan and a big change in quality. Keep up the excellent job. I have enjoyed every one of them. Thank you so much. BX Step writes, if you had the money, would you take a private yacht vacation like on Bravo's Below Deck series? Ooh, I have to check that out. I hope it's on YouTube. And where would you go? I would love to cruise on a private yacht, and that would be a fun group cruise as well. And I looked into it to see how much it costs to private a charter, how much it costs to charter a private yacht, to see if I got 20 people together on one of those really big yachts, if it would cost as much as it costs to just go on a cruise, but it's still way more. It's something that I think sounds interesting, but I don't think that it'll ever happen because I just don't have the money, unless somebody wants to donate it to me. And if you do, you can do that. You can help at patreon.com/veryunofficial. For any of you who are here now and don't know it, Patreon is like, it's like a site where you can become a member to it. And I always post there, I post things there that I don't post anywhere else, like videos that I don't post anywhere else. So they're exclusive, and I also post like outtakes, bloopers. And when I plan a new cruise or when I plan a Disney trip, I always post it on Patreon before I post it anywhere else. So if that's something that interests you and you want to give me a little extra support, just like help out a little bit extra, then go to patreon.com/veryunofficial. Moving on. Don Kettle. Hey, Don. Nice to see you here. Also another YouTuber. Congratulations, Morgan, on 10 million views. Thanks. Since you're celebrating a channel milestone, it would be nice to know why the channel exists. What prompted or motivated you to start your YouTube channel in the first place? Well, Don, there are two reasons I started. One of them, the main reason I started making videos about visiting tourist destinations is from a website called Theme Park Review that still exists. It was one of the first place that I watched theme park and roller coaster related videos on the internet, and it existed before YouTube, or before YouTube became what it is today. And they were doing some kind of video contest where I don't remember what you could win, but I made one of my first videos to enter that contest. And then the next big thing that happened that sort of became like the building blocks of what is now the Very Unofficial Travel Guides was Marcus and I went to Disney World in Florida twice in 1 year. We went in January and October, I think. And my family, who at the time really didn't really know much about Disney, they couldn't imagine what there was at Disney World that was interesting enough to go there twice a year and spend a week there. And so I made some videos to show them what it is we do while we're there, and I posted those to YouTube so that they could see them. And that's sort of, those two things together are sort of what started the very unofficial travel guides. And my motto, my sort of slogan or my credo is, I travel around the world to popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it was like to be there. And recently I added to it, or I make the travel mistakes so you don't have to, because sometimes things go wrong and then you can all learn from those mistakes. So I hope that answers your question, Don. KT said, writes, hi, Morgan. Hey, my question is, are you ever going to go on a Disney cruise? Yeah, I hope I will. I've been on 2 of them and I don't even have kids. If you love cruising and you love Disney, you should do it. KT, I've talked about this before. People ask me about it as well. And at the moment, I just can't get over the price. I'm sure it's totally worth it. And I'm sure I would also have a fantastic time. But for the price of like a 5-day Disney cruise, I can go on 2 Royal Caribbean cruises. So that's what I prefer at the moment. Joy Tunold, who I think is here tonight as well, right? Joy, are you here? I think so. Joy wants to know, Joy writes, hey, Morgan, no questions here. Just popping by to say hi and remind you that you're awesome and really appreciated. Oh, hugs. Thank you, Joy. You put so much hard work into your videos. True. Your editing is great. Thank you. Lots of important information and wonderful humor. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much, Joy. I love getting comments like that. You guys know that the more my channel grows and the more people that watch my videos, also like the hate and the trolls, they grow as well. And I've even had some here in the comments as well. The automatic censor has already filtered out some really awful comments here, actually. Yeah, so it's just really nice to get like positive, nice comments. All right, I think, unless something new, I'll have to refresh it once to see if something new is turned up. Because there's just one more question here at the moment from Josephus 1986. Hi, Morgan, I really enjoy your videos. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. My question is, do you still use Joshua Greenfield with Cruises Inc. for booking your cruises? If so, would Joshua be a good person for me to speak to for booking a cruise for a first-timer like me? I would be looking at NCL or Royal Caribbean from your quiz. Okay, nice to know. Also, thanks again for creating great videos. Well, thank you, Josephus, or Joseph. Yes, I still am in touch with Joshua Greenfield. In fact, I just wrote something to him on Instagram the other day. And I think, of course, he would be a great person to help you book your cruise. He knows a lot about cruising. Get in touch with him. I think it's cruisesbyjosh.com is his website, I think. As always, tell him I sent you, and then he'll do even more to give you a fantastic service. But you know what? Even without me, he'll give you fantastic service, I'm sure. So let me refresh this once and see if there's something that I missed. But I think I got to all of them. Oh no, there are some new ones here. So Heather Travels the World asks, also, best cruise ports in the Mediterranean. Have you ever sailed out of Venice? Would you recommend Western or Eastern Med for a first-time Mediterranean cruise? Thanks. Well, best cruise ports in the Mediterranean, that's kind of like a favorite question, and I'm not good with those. So Heather, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to skip that. I have never sailed out of Venice, but I would love to. Would I recommend Western or Eastern Med for a first-time Mediterranean cruise? They're both great. I can't, at the moment sitting here, I can't think of one reason why one would be better than the other for first-time cruises, except that maybe Eastern Med, on an Eastern Med, you probably visit more ports. Maybe? I don't know. All right. Thank you guys for your comments on Instagram. And we've been doing this for almost 45 minutes now. So I'm gonna go through just a few more of your comments here on YouTube, or your questions here on YouTube, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Joseph Smith wants to know, do you think the cost of Disney World park tickets will go so high that only the elite will be able to go? Well, Joseph Smith, isn't it almost there already? Yeah. the price of a day at Disney World has become enormously expensive, and it makes it almost impossible for a large part of society, I think, to do a Disney vacation. And then, when I see like a family of 5 staying at the Contemporary Resort for a week, I'm like, oh my gosh, where do they have all that money? What did I do wrong, or what am I doing wrong? And can they adopt me? So you know, I I understand why the price goes up, and of course they do offer probably the best experience in the world as far as theme parks go, and with immersive storytelling and stuff like that. But I do agree that they've become very, very expensive. Um, Mrs. BS, hey girl, writes, hello from Fort Worth, Texas. Um, uh, let's see, what else? Adam would like to know if I would go on a P&O cruise. P&O is I think it's like an English-based cruise ship, right? I think they cater to like the English, like England, UK crowd, right? And I have nothing against the P&O cruise, but they're not at the top of my list. And I see here, I just got another super chat from Russ Neal. Yay, Russ. Cheers. This one's for you. Thank you very much. Your super chat says, hello from Orlando. Enjoy the videos. Russ, I heard you guys are having like a big heat wave. Is that true? Is it really warm there right now? KT. KT says, I got here late, so I'm starting from the beginning. Congratulations, Morgan. I've been watching you since you were on the Norwegian Epic. Seems like forever ago. That was a while ago. I think that was 2015. And KT, you asked me a question on Instagram, and I answered it already. So thank you. You'll have to watch it again from the beginning. Marfair is obviously also in Orlando and writes, stupid hot. I'm a person that I deal much better with temperatures that are a little too warm than a little too cold. And for somebody who grew up in Minnesota, that might be kind of surprising, but I just never got used to cold weather and the winter. Russ Neal writes, oh, it's love bug season. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Lara Lashia writes, you seem to be this fun, adventurous type. Would you do a Cunard cruise? It seems boring. And yeah, Jacksonville, Florida is 92 degrees. That is hot. And it's probably like 80% humidity too, right? But Lara Lashia was asking if I would do a Cunard cruise and says it seems boring. Well, Lara, I think a nicer way to say boring is to just say it's very low key and relaxed. How does that sound? That makes it sound a little bit nicer than just saying it's boring, but I kind of agree. They do seem very low key and relaxed. And also, I think they're very strict with the dress code on board. And so those are just a couple things that sort of make me shy away from Cunard, although I really like the design of the Queen Mary, even though, of course, no water slides and no big pool area. But I just don't know if I would enjoy taking a cruise in that atmosphere and having to bring a lot of button-up shirts and ties and stuff. That's just not the kind of thing I like to do on my vacation, but I'm not like, I wouldn't say I would never do it. And of course, if somebody donated one of those cruises to me, of course I would do it. But it's not at the top of my list. Demetrius Tsakaris wants to know if I've cruised on the brand new Celebrity Edge. No, I haven't, and I would love to. And my friend and fellow YouTuber Matthias Moore, the shifts tester, who lives just around the corner from me here in Hamburg, he was just on the Edge last week, and he said it was fantastic. So maybe it will be in the future for me as well. Stay tuned. And like I said, if you want to be the first to know, then go over to patreon.com/veryunofficial and sign up there. All right, just going to do a couple more things here, and then I'm going to wrap it up. All right, and I'm so glad all of you are here, and thank you so much for being some of those 10 million people who have watched my videos. A&J Outdoors, have I ever been to South Dakota? Yes, driven through it. I grew up in Minnesota, but we've never been to any of the destinations in South Dakota. Sorry. A&J Outdoors, have you ever been to Minnesota? I bet you've been to Valley Fair, haven't you? Drew Christie writes, again, right right now, a 1-day, 1-park ticket is $109 plus $20 for parking, and it depends on when you want to go. The park has been as high as $130 per ticket plus $20 for parking. Well, Drew, I think for around Christmas time and New Year's, I think that a ticket to the Magic Kingdom is $159. Isn't that crazy? And those are like the most crowded days, which means you're going to spend more than on other days and be able to get on less attractions. So think about that before you book a trip to Disney on Christmas or New Year's. CJV wants to know if I speak German. Ja, natürlich spreche ich Deutsch. Ich wohne in Deutschland seit 20 Jahren. Es wäre ein bisschen seltsam, wenn ich Deutsch nicht sprechen würde. You can translate that in Google. Matthias Peiser writes, I wish there were more cruises from New York. I live in the New York metro area, and I've never been on a cruise out of New York with only 4 cruises under my belt. But yeah, Matthew Peiser. Matthew, there's a lot of cruises that leave from New York. I was just on a cruise for the Anthem of the Seas, a fantastic ship out of New York. And I think Carnival goes to New York, Royal Caribbean goes to New York, Norwegian definitely goes to New York. So maybe you just need to look a little more, because I think a lot of cruises leave from New York. And I got another super chat here from Barry Holman. Thank you so much, Barry. Barry, you've been around for a while and you comment on a lot of my stuff, and I love chatting with you, and I'm so glad that you support me here. Thank you so much. Mustang Aaron, oh, you've been around here a lot too. Mustang Aaron, you've been here for very long. I'm so glad that you like what I do, and I'm always happy when I see your name in your comments. Ever thought of coming to Vancouver? Lots of cruises leave from Vancouver. It is cruise season now here. Well, you know, my parents, my second set of parents, my dad and my other mother, my stepmom, they live in the Portland, Oregon area. So I have considered going up to Vancouver or doing a cruise that maybe stops in Vancouver. But at the moment, I have no plans. But if I do, let's get together for a coffee or happy hour or something, okay? All right, everybody. I'm going to wrap it up here. I just want to say thanks again to everybody for being part of the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. I'm glad I could help you. I'm always thankful for your support. If it's just watching my videos, commenting on the videos, subscribing, liking, being part of Patreon, giving me a super chat here on this quiz. Thank you very much, everybody. And I hope you have a happy Sunday. And stay tuned. For Friday coming up this week is going to be the first video from on board the MSC Meraviglia. See you later.